Tim Tebow played in an NFL game over the weekend, a preseason game. But if you plugged into social media at all, you'd have thought the Messiah had returned. The Tebow maniacs were out in full force. I thought the majority of them had gone away for good, considering Tebow hadn't played in a game in 2 years. But no, they were just lying dormant, like those locusts, those periodical cicadas in the Midwest that reemerge every 17 years, rubbing their little wings together and causing a big racket. Now, if you're one of those Tebow believers, what part of he can't play quarterback in the pros and have sustained success do you not get? There are reasons he didn't wear an NFL uniform the last 2 years. And we were reminded of those reasons once again watching him play over the weekend against Indy, playing against Indy's second and third stringers. Yes, he threw a couple of nice passes. Look, when you throw enough of them in practice or in games, a few of them are going to connect. Even the worst quarterback completes a few passes. And oh, by the way, in a league where good quarterbacks complete somewhere between 63 and 70% of their passes, Tebow completed 50% against Indy. Though you could say he's improving. As a Denver Bronco, he completed just 47%. He's better. And yes, he did have a nice 15-yard run for a touchdown, which is what he does best. Runs with the ball. That's why he should have been a running back or a tight end. But the maniacs ignore all the other stuff, the bad stuff, the stuff we saw far too often when he played in Denver. There were some horrific throws that weren't in the same time zone as his receivers. A few times, he did what he normally does. He held onto the ball way too long, got hit as he was throwing, and the ball went harmlessly bouncing off into the turf. Or he was just plain sacked. A couple of times the rush came, and he did what he does. He panicked. He was forced out of the pocket, but instead of doing the smart thing, throwing the ball away, incomplete pass, no loss of yardage, he did the Tim Tebow thing. He started reversing field, held onto the ball, ran around like a chicken with his head cut off, and eventually took a sack. And instead of a 7-yard loss, he turned it into a 17-yard loss. Again, there's a reason no team signed him the last 2 years. There's a reason he's on his 4th team now. There's a reason he's listed as the Eagles' 4th-string quarterback. But the Tebow maniacs are blind to all that. They still believe he should be starting in the NFL, and he'll lead his NFL team to a Super Bowl title. He is their football messiah. Unfortunately, they've been worshiping a false football idol. I wonder at what point, if at all, the maniacs will finally realize he's just another in a long line of quarterbacks, great in college, but just couldn't cut it at the next level. He might make the Eagles as a 2-point specialist, a 3rd-string quarterback, but that'll be it, and it won't last long. I hope for his sake the SEC network is saving his seat for him. He's actually not too bad in that role. And that's more with less.